There's a new face of the franchise in 2024 for the Denver Broncos. Damon, your thoughts on Bo Nix, the headliner in the 2024 draft for the Broncos?
I felt like this was a pick that we probably could see coming, right? Like Sean Payton, knowing they didn't have a second-round pick, you can't start Jared Stidham. They did trade for Zach Wilson, but I never felt like when that pick, the 12th pick was on the clock, that they wouldn't go Bo Nix. Bo Nix, I think, fits this offense for the Denver Broncos, right?
Yeah, I'm going to be extremely interested of how the Denver Broncos really just look at his game and say, look, we love the ability to take the shallow stuff, the intermediate stuff, but also pushing it down the field a little bit. For taking a guy at 12. And Sean Payton wants a guy. Obviously, he brought in Russell Wilson for a reason to push the ball down the field. Obviously, that did not work out, right, in Denver. But then they add a guy in Troy Franklin, a friendly face, a guy that slipped down boards a little bit, not the biggest guy, most physical athlete on the outside. What are the Denver Broncos getting in a guy like Troy Franklin more so than just a friendly face that will help for Bo Nix on the outside?
Speed, right? 4.41. I know some people are expecting 4.3, 4.2. But 4.41 is plenty fast, right? But he's also a guy that has a solid release package, gets in and out of his breaks, can kind of work the shallow areas, take short routes deep down the field. And again, that friendly face, that guy that Bo Nix already has chemistry with. He's like, we've seen how that kind of has worked in the NFL. Jalen Waddle catching, passes from Tua, Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase. Now, I'm not saying that's what the type of production we're going to see, but it helps a rookie quarterback, a young quarterback, to have a guy he knows that the timing and the routes, everything's synchronized between the two while he learns Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims, and Tim Patrick coming back off an injury. I think Troy Franklin is going to give them another speed element, especially if they can get the run game going, get some single high coverages, and go ahead and chuck the long ball a little bit.
On the defensive side of the ball, they added Jonah Ellis from Utah, who I really like, has one of the more premier inside spin moves in this entire class, an athletic kid. But also with Jonah, what stands out to me, Damien, is you know what you're going to get out of a guy in Kyle Whittingham's program at Utah. Whether it was a Clark Phillips last year, Cole Bishop this year that, of course, went to Buffalo on day 2. I really like the Jonah Ellis addition, adding a guy along this defensive line. You always need guys that can rush the passer. You always need corners, always need guys that can separate at the receiver position, but you can never have enough guys that can get after the passer.
No, 100%. This is a pick that reminds me of when the Steelers selected, I think, Alex Highsmith Jr. Yes. And it was a kind of a sleeper pick. Nobody knew exactly what to expect. He kind of reminds me of Alex Highsmith. High motor, quick twitch off the ball, but the reckless abandon to get to the quarterback. Like you said, sell the upfield rush, get on that outside shoulder to tackle, spin back inside. He's relentless, and Denver needs to continue to build his defense back up. It's been a long time since Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware has been there. They need to find some edge pressure.
Long time. Now, they did add Chris Abrams-Dream as well from Missouri. Now, a little bit of a questionable pick for me, just as far as what the projection is going to be for Chris in this Denver defense. Now, we saw in the SEC, played some inside, played some outside, highly recruited kid. That Missouri defense was extremely loaded. If they play Chris on the outside, I think we got some concerns and we got some questions to ask of head coach Sean Payton. But if they play him at the nickel spot, and also a guy I don't think that's going to be afraid to cut his teeth on special teams, I like that addition as far as a day 3 value type of addition for that defense in Denver.
Yeah, I think nickel is going to be the best spot for him, right? Especially having to deal with, he's going to see some good receivers in the nickel, right? Especially when you take the field against Kansas City, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy. Whenever Rashee Rice is cleared to play, you're going to see him as well. So he's going to be battle tested out there because teams are going to try their best to stay away from Patrick Surtain II, a.k.a. PS2. They don't want to play that game. So they want to stay away from him and target someone else. So expect him, if he's in that starting lineup, to see a fair share of targets. He's going to have to earn his keep.
Yeah, we talked about Troy Franklin earlier, but a guy on day 3 I really liked as a value pick that had a really nice pre-draft process in general. Another guy out of Utah is Devon Vele. 6'3", extremely fluid. I'm going to go on a limb and say that this kid's going to surprise some people. He's going to be fed some footballs this year from Bo Nix if he starts 17 games or more potentially. We never know for the Denver Broncos this year. The kid can play. He can play inside. He can play outside. He's not be afraid to stick his face in the run game and block as well for you. Things that you're going to have to do in an NFL offense to stay on the football field if you are Devon Vele. I like his pick. But overall outlook for this Denver Broncos 2024 draft haul. Grade for the Denver Broncos here.
A solid C, right? You got your quarterback that you hope is quarterback of the future, getting another receiver, one that he is familiar with. Like I said, that kind of value pick of Devon Vele could be good, and I think Jonah Ellis was a good pick as well.
Loaded AFC West. Hopefully the Denver Broncos and Bo Nix moving forward will take those next steps to competing in the AFC West here in 2024 and the years to come.